If you haven't watched Roadhouse, you haven't lived, said no one ever. Even then, nothing will change the fact that it is an absolute classic, one that the 90s kids surely haven't skipped upon. This action film was released in 1989, directed by Rowdy Herrington and starring Patrick Swayze in the lead role. The movie is set in a small town called Jasper, Missouri, and revolves around the intense and chaotic world of bars and nightclubs, exactly why we have decided to take a trip down memory lane. First up, we have the legendary hero. The story follows a bouncer, John, with a reputation for being the best in the business. Dalton is hired to restore order at the Double Deuce, a rough and rowdy bar that has become a hotbed of violence and criminal activity. His mission is to clean up the establishment and bring back a sense of safety for the patrons. I'll let you in on another secret: this handsome hunk won't allow your attention to wane. Every action movie requires an equally capable antagonist for it to be a hit. And boy, do we have a villain who gives all other heroes a run for the hills, except John, of course. The Double Deuce is controlled by a ruthless local businessman named Brad who runs the town with an iron fist. Wesley and his hired goons engage in various illegal activities, including extortion and drug dealing, using the bar as a front. You know the deal. Somebody ought to take this bad boy down. Enough about violence and club fights. Let's move on to the part that intrigues the audience the most. Dalton forms a romantic relationship with a local doctor named Elizabeth Clay, which adds up. Elizabeth is a local doctor in the town where Dalton is hired as a bouncer. Surprise, surprise, sparks incoming. Initially, Elizabeth is intrigued by Dalton's reputation and his skills as a bouncer. As their paths cross, she becomes increasingly drawn to his charismatic and enigmatic personality. Along the way, Dalton forms alliances with colorful characters, including his mentor, Garret, who adds his expertise to the fight against Wesley. Garret is an experienced and skilled bouncer, much like Dalton. He serves as a voice of wisdom and guidance for Dalton throughout the movie. Their bond goes beyond professional camaraderie as they share a deep friendship. Wade supports Dalton in his mission to clean up the bar and take down the villainous Wesley. We have covered the main leads, but what is a movie without powerful side characters? Emmett is a similar asset to the movie, the loyal employee of the Double Deuce bar and a friend of Dalton. He is often seen interacting with other staff members and patrons. While Emmett doesn't have a major storyline of his own, he contributes to the overall atmosphere of the bar and supports Dalton in his efforts to clean up the establishment. Tilghman at the Double Deuce, known for his flamboyant and eccentric personality. He often adds an element of comic relief to the film, with over-the-top antics and colorful attire. Tilghman's character provides a lighthearted contrast to the more serious and intense moments in the movie. Cody is a blind musician and singer who performs at the bar. He leads a band named Healy Band in the film, and their performances provide a musical backdrop to the events taking place at the bar. He becomes a trusted ally to Dalton and contributes to the overall atmosphere of the film with his performances and presence. As if we needed more spice in the mix, we have a love triangle. Denise is a waitress at the bar. She develops a romantic interest in Dalton, and you would have guessed how absolutely magnetic Dalton's charm is by the fact that anyone with an intact pair of eyes falls head over heels in love with him. Webster is an auto parts store owner and a friend of Dalton. He is portrayed by Webster himself, an actual auto parts store owner who had no previous acting experience. So the guy basically did nothing out of sorts in the movie, yet played a substantial role in fortifying the plot. McGurn is an enforcer working for Brad Wesley. He is a member of Wesley's criminal organization and is involved in the illegal activities that take place in the town of Jasper. While McGurn's character doesn't have a prominent role or significant impact on the main plot, he contributes to the overall presence of the antagonist's henchmen and adds to the tension and conflicts in the story. While that is nowhere near the end of the cast, it is enough to let us know how much hard work has gone into creating the depth of each and every character, which is why this movie deserves a chance even if action and thrill are not your jam.